Hi everyone, welcome back to our three-part series, Panel Shop Processes with Tristan and TK. In today's video, we'll be going over some steps on body filler application and shaping.
We will be going over the do's and don'ts of each process. So before we start today, did you remember your PPE?
I did indeed. So in today's video, we're going to be needing a dust mask, some latex gloves, and an apron to protect your clothing.
Okay, so today we're going to start with cleaning our panel. Seeing that our panel has been lying for overnight, so we are going to use a PHA gold disc just to go over it to make sure there's no rust, there's no dirty, and just to create a good surface for our body filler to sit on.
Okay, cool, no problem. And then we'll follow that with cleaning it with a degreaser or a pre-cleaner.
We have to, yeah.
Awesome. Okay, cool, let's do it. Right about now is when you want to start putting your apron and your gloves on. We are going to be working with a chemical, so it's always best to just put your gloves and your dust mask, your apron on, just to protect your skin and your clothes. So what we're going to be using now is a Merkur orbital sander and a Merkur P80 gold disc, just to run over the panel, just to make sure that there's no contamination or, like you said, any dirt that might have got stuck on there overnight.
This is our blower and this is our air line. Let's start off with blowing off all the dust, and then we go into our degreaser, pre-cleaner. Just make sure everything is nice and clean, and then we can start applying our body filler.
Okay. Cool, so now that we have sanded down the panel again, we're just going to clean it with a degreaser or a pre-cleaner and a Bluetex cloth as well.
That's right.
Cool. Where is your mask, TK?
There you go.
Yeah. Who's
mask is on? Alright, let's put this away.
The next step is to apply the body filler. So what we need for this step is a body filler that we recommend. It's Bulldog multi filler, a couple applicators, and an HP mixing board to mix the body filler with the hardener.
Now we're going to my favorite part of the show, which is body filler application. I'm just gonna open my body filler quickly.
I'll give you a hand.
No.
I ate my cereal this morning.
There you are. Thanks. Thanks a lot. So keep in mind, like on this filler, sometimes you get
resin on top of
the filler. Don't try to mix it in. Don't pour it out. Just scoop as you go, and try not to dig into your filler. Try to take it as you go, just around.
Off the top.
That's right, and whatever resin you have in your filler, it's perfect. Just scoop it out as you go. Okay, need a bit more. This just helps to prevent air pockets. This should be enough.
And what happens if there's air pockets in your body filler?
So usually it's just gonna create more work for you. You're gonna have to use your liquid putty after the body filler, which is another process, and it takes more time, which just slows down your whole process. So the best, you can scoop it out nicely. The better. You have less pinholes, the less time you spend working on your panel.
Okay.
Yeah, and our catalyst as well, I'm just gonna give it a small massage because sometimes it tends to separate from time to time. and try to put a little bit on the side of your filler.
Okay.
Because just in case maybe you put too much catalyst, if it's sitting right on top of your filler, you won't be able to take it out. But like now, for instance, if I want to use half of it, I can always remove whatever I want. You know, it's a little bit easier for me to control how much catalyst I need on my filler.
Okay, and what are the mixing ratios for mixing body filler?
Okay, so usually body filler catalyst, we normally say it's about 2 to 3%.
Okay.
If you want to be accurate, per every 100, let's say for instance, if you've got a scale, per every 100 grams of body filler, you need about 2 to 3 grams of hardener. Okay. Yeah, but that's if you want to be perfect. You have to put it on a scale. But with us, I mean, it's sometimes experience helps. You know, the more you practice, the more you get it right. And always remember, on the catalyst, the less you put, the better. Try not to over catalyzing, because it comes with its own problems. The less the better.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're just gonna mix it in. There we are. We're just gonna press it in as we go. We're just gonna press it down as we go. Just to make sure all that reddish
color like fades into the body filler. Hey?
That's right.
Okay, so when you don't see any more red, does that mean now it's ready to be applied?
It's ready to be applied, and try to work within as quick as possible, because once your hardener is there, you only have about 3 to 5 minutes before it starts drying.
Okay.
So you need to move as quick as you can. That's right. I think we actually ready. I don't see any reddish lines. The body filler looks one color now.
Good.
Now we're ready to apply it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna start with a light film, just to create a nice foundation before I put my thick coat. So just light like that, create a nice foundation.
Oh, to like make the body filler stick better to the panel.
That's right. Okay. That's right. And then from there, I can just try to build it up now, putting a little bit more now, and try to move it one direction. Don't go opposite way. Try to keep it in one direction, just to it also helps to eliminate the creating air pockets. A bit of that there.
Okay, and I see you've kept your edging like very flat.
Very flat. Okay, which also helps that once we start to shape our body filler, if my edges are high up, it's going to take me a lot more time to cut them down to size. Okay. So the smoother your edges are, the more level you're gonna get your finish.
Okay, so if you had like a mountain built on that side and it's smooth this side, you're gonna have to reapply the body filler, because you're gonna take half of that away while there's still too much on that side.
That's right.
Okay, cool, makes sense.
And once we're done now, we just need to wait for about 20 minutes, plus or minus 20 minutes. That's the recommended time for any filler. So 20 minutes, that's the recommended time for drying, and then after that we can start shaping.
Okay. What happens if you don't wait like for 20 minutes? What if I just start sanding in like 5 or 10 minutes? What'll happen?
Okay, so usually your filler is still wet by that time. So what it does, it tends to clog up your paper. So you tend to use more paper because it clogs up easy. You use more paper and it leaves deep scratches because you're working on wet foundation, wet body filler. So your scratches are going to be more deeper. You use more production paper and your finish you won't get the best out of your filler. You won't get the best results. So we always advise, try to stick to the recommended times, which is about 20 minutes for any filler, not only for this specific one. All fillers, it has to be 20 minutes.
Cool, so the next step is to sand and shape the filler. The dry coat is used so that we can see the highs and the low spots. So I think it's quite essential for sanding the body filler, am I correct?
That's right, that's right. And we also have different type of blocks. Okay. We have our hand block, the maker one. This one, it works with the maker strips, the P80s, the Velcro. So keep in mind, this one has got a Velcro backing, which actually sticks onto your block. And then in case you don't have this kind of a block, you can also use your hand block. This one works with your normal production paper. You just have to open it up there, cut a small piece that fits in here, and then you can just use your normal production paper, or you can also use your rubber block.
Okay, so you just clamp it down in the sides, eh?
That's it.
Okay, cool.
But for today, I think we're gonna be using the Maker
Abranet strips.
Abranet strips, yeah.
Sounds good to me. Cool. Just help me move all these things off so we can start the sanding process. So let's get started. So you don't want to put too much, or else it can be like overkill. So you just want to. That looks good. Cool. So now we can see that there are high spots, and then you get the low spots like that where it's dipped in. Okay, so we're going to start with the P80 Abranet strip. That's the best to, as a first step, sandpaper to start shaping your body filler. Am I correct?
That's right.
Okay, cool. So let's get it on there and start going. So how do I know when I'm done sanding the body filler?
Usually when it takes shape, when it feels smooth, it feels level, especially by hand, when you feel it horizontal or vertically, it needs to feel like same level, smooth, no high spots, no edges. And then once you get to that point, then you know your shaping is done. You can move over to the P180 just to finish off, to reduce the P80 scratch.
Okay, cool. And that's also when, once the dry coat is gone, once the black powder is gone, then I'm also done sanding.
That's right.
Okay, cool. Let's get into it. Cool. So once we've got the shaping right, thank you for helping me with the edges, by the way. Cool. So once we've got that right, then we can apply the dry coat again. Then we can move over to the next step, which is the P180 Abranet strip. Eh?
Why do we have to move over to 180?
It's just to get the correct scratch pattern on the body filler before we start to apply the liquid putty. Yeah.
It's okay. P180.
Okay, cool. So now we start sanding with the P180 strip. It'll help us to identify where the final high spots and low spots are. Also, same process as last time. Once the dry coat is gone, that's how you know that you're done sanding, and then you can move on to the next step. Cool. Let's get going. So now that we're done sanding with the 180, I think we can blow it down with an airline, and then it'll show us if there's any pinholes or imperfections in the body filler. So I think it's really important to get as close to the body filler as possible so that it can blow out any dust that might be stuck in pinholes or imperfections like that. So the closer the better once you blow it. Right. So now that we are happy with the shaping with the body filler and we've already cleaned it, what's the next step?
Alright, so the next step will be application of our liquid putty. Okay. Just to make sure there are no imperfections on our body filler, just to give it a nice pinhole-free, smooth finish. That will be our next step, as well as further aging, just to make sure we remove all the production marks around the filler.
Okay. That'll have to wait till the next episode. Thank you guys for joining us. It was a pleasure. Please hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next one.